Alright, hello, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. Let's see, I think I still have about an hour and a half left before I have to go to the meeting. I'll just read books, I guess. Maybe. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, there's the... You have to buy it. Can I steal any? No. I can read the ledger, I guess. Or I can talk to Joyce for another reality lowdown.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I have some more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Let's see, we have Esprit de Corps. What is, think of something close to you. +1 RCM, can access ICP database. +1 RCM authority comes from coalition. +1 RCM Kim debrief done. Who are you? What is this? Spread your hands. Conceptualization. +12 from Jamas Vu. Thought complete. What is this? Reach out for something fundamental.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Save in case it doesn't work, because knowing this game, a 92% is still
You're back.
a failure.
Good. What can I help? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead.
What
ask me
is
anything.
reach for something fundamental? Conceptualization. What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air. What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
Island Empire. The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water. What do you see? Say nothing.
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment. This world does not deserve a term of endearment. This world does not deserve... No, it does.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I don't feel like I've got the whole picture yet. I've got a clear picture. Let's proceed to another term.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
Inside sideways? What shape is this world then?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely
It's
by the
flat.
day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids. But the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
I knew it, the Earth is flat. Encyclopedia, ORG, Occidental Revachol Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey corona?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
Half-light. A cold fear seeps into you. Oh my god, wait. What the hell are you telling me? The Pale. And what do you mean, corona?
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be.
She lets a moment pass. Her voice becomes homely, calm. The Pale, and what do you mean by corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
A fractured corona doesn't feel like it's gonna bring anyone together. Okay, and then everything will be okay?
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it's disco. Doesn't sound like any kind of disco I'd like to go to. I don't care about disco. I only care about the commune. If you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Island Empire. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both silently. He adjusts his glasses.
Glad to have been of assistance. You're back. Good.
Okay,
More lessons
esprit
in
de
basic
corps.
reality. My favorite part.
Success. 6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner Emile Mullins whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez." "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrooks answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emile." He pulls on it slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do. What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
The Revachol Citizens Militia.
Preciso mundo.
Good. And what is the Revachol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Rhetoric. He's being sarcastic. We are? You said de facto.
We are.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean? What is, That's it for the who am I part then? What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, three pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All three are good to know when we are out policing.
So I'm basically a lackey of capital. So I'm basically a thrall to foreign interests. So I'm basically one of the good guys. So I'm basically going to avoid the subject and ask the next question in this line of inquiry. A lackey of capital.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it.
She leans in.
Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Ravacholians get to keep the peace in Ravachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Thank you, ma'am. Say nothing. Back to those basic terms of reality, then.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
Tell me about the world.
What world? The only one.
Oh, it's this. Won't say nothing.
Great bodies. There is a term of Elysium.
How would she say if I say this?
There are those who would
Oh,
call
she
it
says the
term
same
of
thing.
hatred that originates like
Let's
many
proceed
such
to another
things.
term. There we go.
Let's. I am, after all, bourgeois and female. Hardly the perfect ambassador for the world.
You said pale. What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. We do have a case to attend to.
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
I don't want to. I want to know what the pale is. What do you mean it's not part of reality? Okay then.
I don't think your colleague would appreciate that. He has already been so patient with this whole exercise. Let's continue with something else, all right? You can ask about anything else in the world. Anything.
Savoir-faire. You could sneak back later, when the lieutenant is not here, unless you can convince him to step aside. Well, we have a volition check. Kim trusts you. Oh, it's 83%. Okay. Ask for Kim to step away while you discuss the pale.
Glad to have been of assistance. You're back. Good. What can I help you? More lessons in basic
Volition.
reality? My favorite.
Success. Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene. Kim, can I talk to the ma'am alone for a second.
Fine.
He steps away with his notes. See what can he do? You're a grown man. Now, what is the Pale?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
Yes, what is the Pale?
Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the interocellular mass.
Wait, and what is an Isola? Okay, what is the Pale like?
Isola is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this in Insulinde.
And Insulinde is... Okay, what is the Pale like?
An oceanic isola. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
Okay, what's the Pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
A logic. The negation of being. The negation of...
That's right. The negation of being.
She tightens her hood around her neck. It's cold outside. Is it here? Look around. What are its physical qualities? If we're surrounded by Pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola? How much Pale is there compared to the world? Let's return to reality, please. How do you get?
Oh, it is so difficult for us.
Her lungs deflate, her words sound like a sigh. Perception, hearing. A squall of birds, hardware operating in the harbor, firm, self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path.
Oh, hello there, Vio. How are you doing?
But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged.
What are its physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Just tired. I'm always tired. Rhetoric. Success. There's a slippery article in there. Is it the Pale or Pale?
Pale when it's particular, this territory of Pale. The Pale when it's Pale in its entirety. Once you've seen it, language balks at the difference.
Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isola.
Island Empire. As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens in your stomach, 6,000 kilometers from the end of the world. And, point north, there.
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer.
And
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called porch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
the pale can damage the mind.
Extensively.
How?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Rhetoric. Who says and who argues? Who says and who argues? And what does this over-radiation feel like?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue.
What does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of pale exposure per year.
Logic. It's more for her, way more. You're not a civilian passenger.
No, nameless detective of the citizens' militia. I am a member of the entreprenetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually.
Logic. Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange gray-haired woman in her lorry. Do lorry drivers pass the pale? Are you over-radiated? You're not a civilian passenger.
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
Reaction speed. You should ask the pale driver about this, see what she says. Island Empire. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine. Are you over-radiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
What is entropometic?
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
Rhetoric. They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian superisola. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere. Even then, surrounding them. Did they cross it, the Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
What is entroponics, whatever that is, changed that?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the pale. The only real advance in pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
Aerostatic craft?
Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end, if we throw them precisely.
And if we don't?
Then they don't.
Visual calculus gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface. How much pale is there compared to the world?
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Slipping how? To our detriment, or...?
What do you think, Detective?
She looks you in the eye. It's shrinking. There is more and more of the world. It's growing. There is more and more of the pale.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
It's not extreme at all. It's going to happen. Cover everything? That can't be. Where would we go? Stay silent. Stay silent.
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Island Empire. Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open. Off we go. Into the wild pale yonder.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
Island Empire. Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
Nothing. Just alcohol, fumes, and blackout. I sometimes sense vague shadows of the past, and it's not good. No, I don't think so, although that would be pretty cool. Also, I think they live on flat Earth. They were right. The Earth is flat. I sometimes sense a vague shadow of the past, and it's not good. I'm getting a sense of who I am, but no, I don't know this. Just alcohol.
Then tell me, what do you think of the pale?
It's terrifying. You were right. It's disco. It will end all life. That we continue to persist at all is a testament to our faith in one another. Its advance can only be stopped with immediate, total, ruthless communism. A powerful anti-communist force, perhaps too powerful, but still, they have it coming. I'm worried. I have to say, it doesn't sound very liberal to me. I don't know. I don't know how you've survived with it. It's a huge accomplishment. Who am I to think anything of it? It's disco. Her eyes tense. Crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
She stops mid-sentence. I'll handle it. It's under control. This investigation will be my masterpiece. The one they remember me by, I promise. Yes, I'm in serious trouble here. I'll be a fucking disaster. I know it. All these people will die. It's gonna be a masterpiece.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile, you have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
She gives you a slight bow.
Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now?
Let's see, I still have 50 minutes before I have to go to the meeting. So, you needn't have worried. That was fucking insane, Kip. Right, let's get to work, Lieutenant. Some more reality lowdown before we go. That was fucking insane.
Yes, well, the rest of us have dealt with it for thousands of years, so...
He looks around a little uncomfortable now. Esprit de corps. You will have to deal with it too, the lieutenant thinks. This is why I didn't want you to know. Right, let's get to work, Lieutenant. Some more reality lowdown.
I am happy to oblige.
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what? I got it, another question.
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big time?
The revolution.
Huh? And what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Yep. Okay, who got shot in the head? Who got the mineral rights? When was this kerfuffle? That's enough about the times.
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle. That's a tragedy. Sounds like they should have shot more people in the head then. That's a kerfuffle.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
The lieutenant mumbles from behind his notes.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it.
I had a deluge too, in my head. Point to your little head. Anyone else anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Smart king. Cowardly king. I loved that king. Fucking communists. I don't care about kings. Tell me more. Tell me one more thing. Coward.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing. So he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place.
We love the venture capitalist kings. Hello there, Faye. How are you?
Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Let's see. Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Well, that's good to hear. It's also very hot here as well. I think it's like 83 or something. Let me see. It's even hotter in my room because of all of the electronics and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Okay. And by liberals you mean... How did the liberals win it all?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win, so much as survive.
108? Oh my god.
We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
That's ridiculous. 108. A rhetoric. She's one of them, of course. If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything. Who are the coalition?
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
The world is just on fire right now, so that's why. Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
Encyclopedia. The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of the Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of the gray sky. Unofficially, for a moment, there was hope. I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am. Not just technically, practically. For a moment, there was hope. If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am, and also not. So the moralists are the centrists, the fence-sitters. And when they're talking about liberals, they're not talking about, like, liberals in the sense of, like, that Americans know it. That, they're talking about capitalists.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
Yeah, pretty much. When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
What did this Tarzoth do? Where did it spread from here?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Wow, really? No way.
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from then?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Island Empire. Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat, and you have that necktie, a pair of pants. Our lives are very different from each other. What is the zone of control, and what happened to the rest of the world?
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations, and you, of course, the citizens' militia.
Esprit de corps. The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of a reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened to the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
Logic. 51 minus 8 equals 43. Wow. Amazing. Wait, you're saying that it's been like this for 43 years? It's been like this for how long exactly? I guess that's if you're not smart enough to do the math, you have to ask her what that equals.
Time flies.
What have we been doing all this time? That's it then. Another topic.
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
That's when they discovered disco. Were they?
Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
Logic. For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side. Which side was Wild Pines Group on?
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not.
They chose wisely. They got lucky.
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom.
You would have sided with the king.
I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
Volition. No, her first. I asked you, who are you in all this? I would have sought a medical solution. Sounds like Tazrith drove these people mad. I would have killed more, 400 million, if that's what it took. I would have positioned myself very precisely. I would have made it out, with the mineral rights. I don't know what I would have done differently. Kill 'em all. I asked you first.
And I asked you, past less detective of the citizens' militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Kill 'em all.
I see. A tenth of humanity. The key of history is in the lock. Keep turning at any cost.
At any cost, until humanity is free and the age of capital is past. Until this insanity is crushed and Revachol reigns, a suzerain forever. Until it's all mine, every pigment-drenched black leaf of money in Revachol. Until the middle class, the gentry, and the workers are all gone, and the age of man is over.
Past? That's what de Briever, the leader of the communards, said, before she got a bullet in her head. Don't get me wrong.
There's a sadness in her voice.
Capital is finished. But understand this. Its end won't free anyone. It will only lead to more suffering.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
The abattoir is slaughterhouse. I know that.
Understandable. They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Rhetoric, not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer. Where is it? I want to know what you are. Volition. She won't maneuver her way out of this one. What are you? Say nothing.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
She says with a sudden flash of teeth.
I am an ultra.
What? What's an ultra? Dios mio, draw across a liberal. Cool. I liberate pretty hard myself. I don't understand. What's so vile about that?
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a man of the left, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you
Yes.
repulsed?
Empathy. In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire, decades of guilt and pride. I think basically they're just, what do you call it? They're like those people that describe themselves in America as like classical liberals, or like the Reaganites, the trickle-downers, you know what I mean? So, you're a monster. I forgive you. I forgive you, but only because you're charming. I don't care. You're a monster.
That's a pity. I hope we can remain collegial, despite the fact that I'm a high priestess of the capital. Don't take it personally. It was only business, as they say.
God. Well, 2016 YouTube never truly went away, did it?
Honestly, I may have even preferred it, had the communards won. Who knows? They might really have built something better. But they didn't, because they lost. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently? That settles that.
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery. I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake. Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
Island Empire. Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean. You're a smart woman. You're a patriot. You have daughters, conclude. Smart woman. You have daughters.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to
Okay, I
reality?
still have 20 minutes before the meeting. Let's see. What's the... that's probably too long. What's an acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
What causes encephalopathy? I got it. Let me ask you something else.
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
I try to avoid it, in reality myself, but this game is a little, it's a little political. Okay, it's a lot of political, but it's... Oh, it's probably from surgery then. It's definitely the drinking. Let's see. What's the RCM again?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Rhetoric. He's being sarcastic. Okay, it's just...
Yes.
I've actually
that
already read
means
this.
Not de jure.
I've
The
already...
RCM permit me to... And if those
Let's see.
authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I am here to help.
What is this? Spread your hands.
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing. Am I really that awkward? I meant, what is this place here? Am I really that awkward?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what's this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
She looks around. What is Rue de Saint-Ghislain? I don't know how you pronounce that. I wasn't paying attention. 33A.
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
From the dilapidated balcony, a young girl in odd clothes gives Joyce the evil eye, a red paintbrush held to her throat. Perception sight. You could be wrong, but from here, it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat, in a sawing motion.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the Skull.
The girl in the old lady rag?
Yes. No, I meant something basic about reality.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
Okay, now explain the same thing, but to a child. I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow. That's...
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead.
But have iPhone?
All right. What next?
What is that? I want to see what she says.
The girl in the old lady rag.
No, I meant something about reality.
Oh,
okay.
yes. Something very satisfying about discussing the fundamentals.
What is
The
that?
girl in-
Yes.
Looks like a solid
Culture.
Yes. She prefers
Now explain
a
it,
fantasy world.
but to a child.
Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating. All right. What next?
Oh, that was it.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Nope, that's all. Okay, exhausted all that dialogue. Oh yeah, I got some. 2 levels. Okay, let's see, what do I want? Do I want... a logic, I guess? And I guess a... I don't know. Composure is good. Maybe a composure. Okay. What's this? Savoir-faire. Master. Investigator. You just can't keep yourself away from locked and hidden places, can you? What do you mean? It's my duty as a cop to investigate every square inch of this world. Hey, I'm not some sort of a peeper. Savoir-faire. Nothing, you're right. Get in there. Deep. Invade every personal space. Break every lock. I'm just browsing. It's my duty as a cop to investigate every square inch of this world. There we go. Thought gained, Jamrock Shuffle. Attaboy. The world's secrets are made for you. They wait patiently for you to uncover them. There is Jamrock Shuffle. Temporary research bonus -1 esprit de corps, confusing behavior. By now it's clear that you like to look inside containers. You like to open doors and see what's behind them. Maybe secrets, maybe more juicy containers. Let's be honest, you like all containers, trash cans, utensil trays, manholes, coat pockets, secret containers left behind by Philippian kings, and that hold forbidden relics. Okay, you haven't come across one of those yet, but one day. Wait. Is that why you're so hell-bent on opening containers? Do you think you'll find the holy scepter of the Orb de Montaga? I don't know how you say that. Oh. You hear distant traffic. The night is falling on the sky. The maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east. The curtains shift just a little. Someone is watching from within. That's locked. I don't know if I can access this early or if I have to, like, do something first. Let's see. Store is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Are they here yet?
We should return in the evening.
Okay, yeah. I do have to wait. Okay, does Kim have anything to say?
Yes?
Aren't we going to talk about the boots I'm wearing? Oh, God. Tell me about the case. I think you should know that I can't remember anything. I want to talk about you. You seem to be following me. You see, this whole time on the end of the second day, this guy's following me around.
Excuse me?
What if I want to work on this case alone? Beat it, you're cramping my style. Nothing, just an observation.
You have a distinctive way of walking. If I were to walk in front of you, we would surely collide.
What do you mean, distinctive?
I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's just a collegial observation. In the 57th, we call it the Jamrock Shuffle. Officers from Jamrock's 41st Precinct tend to move a bit erratically. They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants for gathering evidence. It's erratic, yet thorough. Prioritizes containers.
Interfacing. Yes, but containers contain things. Shiny things. They're interesting. You're kidding me. Why containers? Okay then. That's racist. I don't prioritize containers.
I don't know. Containers contain, I guess. I'm making assumptions. We should move on.
Esprit de corps. Passing along frivolous interdepartmental stereotypes is not usually his avoir. I don't... He regrets bringing it up. Aren't we gonna talk about the boots I wear?
Okay, let's talk about it. You stole the boots.
He looks at the gleaming technological footwear you're sporting. I stole these off of the dead body. And then I used the kitchen in the hostel to boil the rotting meat from the boots. The same pot that is used to cook everybody's food. And I have the boots now.
Congratulations. That must have taken an enormous concerted effort, considerable ingenuity and timing. Now I'm going to report you and you are going to go to jail.
You are? Please don't. It was just... These are not the same boots. I liked them so much I went and bought myself a pair. You're joking. You are?
It was a joke, sadly. There's nothing I can do about your delinquency. What's done is done. Let's get back to police work.
Esprit de corps. I don't care about your insane theft, the lieutenant thinks, and looks away from the boots. And just know, if anyone asks me, I will snitch on you. Tell me about the case. Let's see. I still have 5 minutes. Let's see. Tell me about the case. I think you should know that I can't remember anything. No response. He just arches his brow. Rhetoric. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even. I feel like I must repeat this. I don't remember anything. There was heavy drinking involved. Okay, forget it.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs?
Empathy. There is a sudden harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs. What's wrong with personal affairs? So what should I concentrate on? I'm afraid this is a medical situation. Move on. Fine. Let it be.
Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy.
Encyclopedia. The RCM deploys a self-styled structure called the Decomptage as its chain of command. Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant has to deal with quite a few personal affairs. Even you know this. So what should I concentrate on?
Try work. The case at hand. It can work miracles.
I'm afraid this is a medical situation.
Really? You look fine to me.
Kim is getting fed up with us. We did steal a dead man's boots and boil them. I'm talking serious, unbelievable damage here. I saw myself in the mirror, and I had no idea who I was.
This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer.
Logic. Clearly he prefers to think you're malingering. He can't fathom that anyone can drink so much as to retroactively erase their entire life. It's not psychological. Some sort of major brain damage has occurred on an unprecedented scale.
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's Lazareth. Was there anything else you wanted?
No. And now it is 2100. And I can enter the apartment. Oh, there he is. He just spawns out of thin air. Of course.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag of his cigarette. Conceptualization. This slender figure is blacklit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. We got your hint. Found the key right under the stone.
Beautiful.
He replies, smiling as he looks at you. Something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes. Honestly, I'm just trying to not screw up anything. I'm not going to make things just right. I'm going to make them spectacular. Ignore his question. I was hoping to talk to a possible witness. Your balcony overlooks the murder scene. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm just trying not to screw up.
Beautiful.
He says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
By the way, I'm really digging the view here. Point to the city skyline. Wait, who exactly is visiting you? Why would I want to meet your friend? Very well, I'll talk to him, but first, I want to talk to you. I have so many questions. Oh, you do? Who is it? Oh, and what are they in?
Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Wait. Suddenly you're digging things?
Who exactly is visiting you?
My Sunday friend. He's brilliant. Everyone wants to meet my Sunday friend. You'll see.
Oh, I haven't played Cyberpunk yet. I'll get around to it eventually. Why would I want to meet your friend?
Trust me. You do.
Okay, very well.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighborhood windows have lit up one by one. Perception sight. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
Island Empire. He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad. Oh, you get to talk to them? Well, I think he might be playing the same role in this game as well, then. Something tells me, oh, composure, something tells me you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again. Run where? But I just found you again. Go, if you must. I don't care. I don't care about people leaving me all the time. Run where?
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
Only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important. All right, go then. Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
He says with another disarming smile before slipping off into the night. Conceptualization. And he's gone. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him. He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving, Kim? There's something so different about him that I just can't put my finger on. Let's go, Kim. We have to interview his Sunday friend.
Different, of course.
His shirt. Why is his shirt always unbuttoned? He's such a good listener. I like talking to him. There's just something so mysterious about the way he talks and moves. He smells so good. Why on earth does he smell so good?
Something so mysterious about the way he talks.
The lieutenant squints his eyes, trying to hold back laughter. Very mysterious.
Very.
He's barely holding it together. It's all he can do to keep from bursting out in laughter.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
A quarterly business magazine. Save. An empty ashtray. Dishes soaked up in a pot. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at a local university. I got some clothes. We got the Party Dragon Silk Robe. +1 drama. Become the dragon. +1 electrochemistry. Become an addict in a strange bathing robe. I guess they just sound similar. This sleazy, silky bathrobe in vibrant blue features a roaring dragon on the front, all ready to take off into the night. A red belt has been provided for fastening. It's culturally insensitive, but only for people who are not from Seoul. The real Seolites probably don't care. I'll take the other one. I look ridiculous. An old photo of the same apartment, dated year 1. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. Oh, I got another skill point, but actually let me put that in the thought cabinet. Actually, is there anything I want to get rid of? Let's see. -1 authority, but I get more XP. Oh, that's the bottles. Let's see. It's the can't get rid of Hobo Cop. Pain threshold all psych, that's good. +1 health, and now I'll just get another one. And put the Jamrock Shuffle in there. Let's see how long does that take? Oh, only an hour. Buckets of paint on the layers of old newspapers. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Samaran Samaran conical hat. +1 logic. Super logical for a cop to wear this. -1 suggestion. Insensitive bachelor party vibes. This tawny cone-shaped hat looks like a beacon of Samaran wisdom. Its straws sticking up like antennas. Thank God you can't really see people's reaction when they see you strolling around in this incredibly insensitive headpiece. this one gives me encyclopedia. I'll take that.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
The man in business casual removes his cufflinks. Composure. His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Conceptualization. Hanging. What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things. Point to the bed. Before we go, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy. Show him the silk robe. But before we get to that, tell me about where you got this beautiful silk robe from. Show him the Samaran hat. We'll get to that right after you tell me the story behind the black Samaran hat. Get down to business. Hello, mister. Let's get started. Let's see. How about the canopy?
Oh, yes. My friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy.
Comfy.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony. The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed. You actually witnessed the lynching. What's an official like you doing in Martinez? Can you tell me about your friend? Thanks, I've got all I need.
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
The man gives a solemn nod. Turn to the lieutenant. This is just the break we've been looking for. Is it because you did it, Mr. Villederuan? There's no way I'm going to pronounce his name right. Start from the beginning, if you don't mind.
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
Start from the beginning.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
Drama. He looks out, he holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Interesting.
Who were they? Can you describe them? How many of them were there?
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez.
He passes, looking for the right wording.
Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
How many of them?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number. Were any of them huge, like 200 kilograms huge? What happened next?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human. as far as I could tell.
What happened next?
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Were they men? Women? What ethnicity were they? What happened next?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
What ethnicity?
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
What happened next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean, nothing happened? They lynched a guy.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Why didn't you call the RCM? You're right, that does seem strange.
I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroit.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
What's an official like you doing in Martinez?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here, in this apartment? So you're some kind of bureaucrat. What is this international community? What is the price stability? Enough business. Let's talk about something else.
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
Some kind of bureaucrat.
Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
Encyclopedia. Wait. There isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability. Is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not. What is this international community?
La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
What is the price?
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything. That clears everything up.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of what? This is fascinating. But I want to ask you something else.
But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're not answering my question at all. A true bureaucrat.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
No, I'm good. Okay, sure. Give me a leaflet.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency.
I've heard about this moral intern before, but I want to know more.
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the Coalition.
Turn to Kim. So when I said I was a lackey of capital, what I should have said is that I'm a moral intern bitch. Oh, turn to Kim. So we're actually working for the moral intern. That doesn't seem so bad.
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
Turn back to Sunday Friend. Are you a moralist?
But of course,
But why? Am I a moralist?
because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Turn to Kim. Lieutenant, are you a moralist? But what is a normal, stable world? Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Me?
Composure. You've managed to catch the lieutenant off guard, but only for a moment. He quickly recomposes himself.
I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Ravachol.
A very moralist answer.
Esprit de corps. The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors. But what is a moral, stable world?
The Occident is part of the normal world. Oranje, sur la clé.
Martinez doesn't seem very normal.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
He gives you an approving nod. I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring. I want more action. Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Revachol must be governed by Revacholians. Democracy is a meaningless sham, as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital. It's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D. None of the above. Is that moralism?
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
Ah, my friend. But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work.
It didn't work, because the coalition crushed it violently. We just haven't tried real communism yet. And you're telling me this world here is working out well.
It's moving towards the right direction, and that's all that matters. Progress is measured in centimeters, my friend. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Tell me about Sur-le-Clef.
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Rhetoric. Darlings. That can't be an official designation. What makes Revachol Sur-la-Clef's darling? That's nice of them.
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clef. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Perception, taste. Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clef's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes. Tell me about Oran.
Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of APIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur-la-Clef, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community.
Which one of them is more EPIS? Okay, but outside of EPIS, what is Oran?
Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community.
The EPIS. Rhetoric. But that didn't tell you anything about Oran. Can't you just talk like a normal person?
About what?
About Oran. Just tell me what it's like there.
Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow.
Enough business. Let's talk about something
Whatever
else.
you wish, officer.
Can you tell me about your friend?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
What's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
What do you mean?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
What's this EPIS thing you keep talking about? But that doesn't tell me anything about Kedra itself. Is it warm there? Cold? Something in between?
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
It's the EU. That's what it is. Logic. God. Yes, sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality. And commerce.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic
EPIS.
unit for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
Okay, but what does it stand for? What's on the next level?
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
No, what do the letters stand for? Sure, fine. What's the next level you're talking about?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you?
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Is it going to be like this place here?
You mean Revachol? No.
The
it's going to
United
be
States of the Occident.
fabulous.
To Revachol going to be part of EPIS.
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
They keep spelling it out, but I'm just gonna call it EPIS. Rhetoric. Except that candidate members never become full members, do they? Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members?
No, no. Candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
How did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way. You're describing how the coalition occupied Revachol.
One of the wonders of democracy is that everyone is allowed to have his own opinion. And not just allowed, encouraged even. Have you ever tried debate?
What do you mean?
Debating. You should consider joining a debating society for adults. I hear they're oodles of fun.
Oodles?
I used to have a flyer for one, but now that I start thinking of it, it was for an improv class anyway. It's this funny theater thing, you know? Very creative. Helps relieve stress.
Conceptualization. A chill runs down your spine as you envision a half-dozen people in professional attire standing around a chair, awkwardly pretending to be waiting for a motor bus. It's neither funny nor creative. You still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry, who?
Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine. But what's his real name? So, all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
What are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
What view? It's dark outside. Isn't it rude for your friend to leave you alone like this?
Listen.
He says, raising his hand. Perception hearing. A baby is crying in the neighboring apartment. Someone's baby's crying.
Oh, listen.
He says again, looking outside.
The Insulindian Bay.
What about it? I was asking about your friend.
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you've seen him around. He's a busy bee.
Rhetoric. A busy bee. What an odd choice of words. That's something else
I'm
to
all
talk
ears,
about.
officer.
Thanks again. I've got all I need.
A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Hold on. Why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
Logic. That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night. I'm not going anywhere. I just want to take a look around this apartment. Leave. Thanks for the heads up, but my work here is done.
Of course. I'm sorry I couldn't be the break you were looking for. Good luck with the investigation.
Okay. I think I got everything in the apartment here. Yes, everyone is involved. It's all connected. Okay. Oh yeah, I should probably call into the... I think I can call into the station for a doctor.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Alice, please connect me to Station 41's Lazarus.
It will take just a moment, officer.
Yeah, that's... maybe I should. Just call in, just nuke the place.
Gottlieb, what do you want?
You hear a man clearing his throat briskly, then he answers. Perception, hearing. He's carelessly chewing on a piece of hard candy. Just a routine checkup. I was told to call the Lazarus. People are worried about me. I'm in a bad way, Doc. A real bad way.
Oh, it's you.
You know who I am? I think I've had a heart attack. I've lost my memory. All of it. Isn't there anything you can do for me?
With all the damage you've been dealing yourself with drugs and alcohol, I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised. Okay. Anything else?
What else? I'm not a brain doctor. Look on the bright side. You've got a whole new life now. Use it wisely.
Drama. It's hard to say if he doesn't believe you, or doesn't care. You know who I am?
Yes, there's no end to the misfortunes fate has seen fit to rain upon me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've been such a bother to you. Sure, but can you tell me about myself, as in who I am?
Who? You are? You lost your human visage a while back. Now let's get on with it. I've got more important things to do.
I think I've had a heart attack.
And you survived it. Congratulations. Are you mobile?
Yes.
Even better. Anything else? I wouldn't worry about that. Officers your age have coronary trouble all the time. Also, death is a natural part of life.
If my doctor just told me that death is a natural part of life, I'd be pretty concerned. Volition. Accept it. The body is an object, and objects break down. Do what good you can with yours, before the rest goes too. Isn't there anything you can do for me?
What? You want me to do blood work for you again? Tell you just how bad things really are across the board? You want another rundown of everything collapsing inside your body?
A doctor that wants me to die. Yes, I want the truth. No, that doesn't sound like something I can handle right now. I see your point. Might as well get back to work, yes.
You want the real, honest-to-God truth? Stop drinking, eat magnesium and vitamin D. Our station is not a retirement home. We don't have the funds to deal with rock stars past their prime. And no, I don't want to hear a political commentary on the topic. In fact, I got work to do. Some idiot has glued his eyelids shut with cyanoacrylate. It looks like Mactorson.
It's not fucking cryoactylate. It's super glue, Doc.
Encyclopedia. Cryoactylate is superglue. I love the... I love it when the encyclopedia just butts in to give me random trivia. I guess that's it for now. The phone clicks. Suddenly, you hear an already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
Let's see, please connect me to Sylvie. Find out more about the... I have to call them tomorrow.
57, over.
Okay, what now? I think I've pretty much done everything for day... Oh yeah, I can talk to the... I think I can talk to the pale driver again. Oh, there's some money. Eh. Lunas, snap your fingers in front of her face.
Huh? What is it? What do you want?
I think I know what's going on with you.
And what is that?
She sticks a filterless cigarette into a cigarette holder and reaches for the light. That's you're the pail driver. You transport goods through the pail.
Great. He asked the Pines rep about the pail, and now he's talking to everyone about it. Fine then. Just try not to black out again, and don't contemplate. We don't have time for that.
Oh, I'm contemplating, Kim. I'm drawing existential conclusions from this. Yeah, no, just for detective work. That's all I need, for now. Everything is related to the pail. My condition, the case, everything. It's all intraponetic.
Exactly what I didn't want you to do. Ma'am, my partner wanted to know if you work in pail transport.
No offense. But your partner?
She lights the cigarette. A white and silver cloud of smoke disappears into her mouth.
Seems like a bit of an idiot.
She breathes out. The air tastes sweet. Perception smell. Republica, a filterless cigarette from Mesk. Republica, smell the air. That's not very healthy.
Neither is spell transportation. Life is transitory.
I blacked out after a night of heavy drinking and lost all memory of the world. I blacked out from sheer heartbreak and lost all memory of the world. I'm not an idiot. I'm a detective of the RCM. Don't say I'm an idiot.
Like Gabriel Buenguerro in Pergunte a Poeira. You're the opposite of me, then. I remember everything. Even things I never knew.
Things you never knew.
The smell of liquor on Gabriel's lips after the shoot. In the motor park. The roses on the day of Franco Negro's coronation. On the grand stairs of Ryle. The smoke from the Fowling piece when Dolores Day was shot. The look on her face, like an orgasm. The wound in her chest. My hand in my father's hand. Except I never had a father, and I never shot her innocent Dolores Day.
Over-radiation. Isn't that dangerous?
Heroic doses, Hervé. Heroic.
Isn't that dangerous?
Thought insertion, dithering, the Grad Catalan Magistral. It's more than dangerous. It's sad. But at first I had to make a living. Now, when you've seen it all go away like that, rolling off like the sea, and then come back to this? What are we doing here? For thousands of years, Gabriel. It doesn't have to be like this. We can just give up. We can just become a vapor.
What does it look like? The Pale. What does it feel like? How do you pass through it? One last thing, you said we can just become vapor. What does it look like?
Like looking into the ocean at night, in the dark.
And?
You cannot see it, but you know it's there. And it's big, bigger than anything. Bigger than all the other things combined.
What does it feel like?
Nothing. Until it starts. When you are deep enough. Then, for me, it's like autumn. Dark, grey and orange. The orange of street lights and the color of streets in the electric light. It smells like autumn too. It smells terrible.
Empathy. Nostalgia. Cooped up in the cabin, shaking. Terrible nostalgia. For yourself, for humans. It's too much to bear. She loves it. How do you pass through it?
In the belly of an airship, behind the stair windows. So you don't look straight into it. It's not advised to look into it.
Not on this lorry, then.
No, the same one, a roller. They all are nowadays. Special wheels for connecting to the floor of the hold.
She points to the machines, clumped up like toys. Interfacing. Their wheels all small and round. Multi-axle trailers. One last thing, you said that we can just become vapor.
Yes.
Rhetoric. No elaboration. I would rather have what I have than what you have. I would rather have what you have than what I have. I feel I already have what you have, in some way.
They say there is a point, one that I have not crossed. In the Pale, super deep. If you stray too far, of course, on the U41A, or in Lomonosov's land, where every step you take is one step further from home, no matter the direction. It's a point you cannot come back from. Your mind becomes so radiant with the past, there is a flip. Instead of writing, it erases memory, nearing some kind of indescribable finale.
What you have, what I have, what she has, what he has. And he's in there, and I'm the sheriff, and he's out here.
Maybe you've been down the motorway south?
The motorway south.
It's a story as lone horsemen tell. Lone horsemen, Sheriff, not Pale drivers. Way beyond the established Pale that's lit by radio frequencies, where it goes silent and dark, and the process begins, erasure, kilometer by kilometer, in any direction. The motorway south is a road you cannot come back from.
What's at the end of the motorway south?
No one knows what's at the end. I've only glimpsed the beginning. I've only felt it in the distance, when I was a child. A child rowing on the lake.
Ma'am? Thank you, goodbye.
Josiana.
A sigh escapes her lips, then silence as she stares within herself. Empathy. There's nothing more to do now. She's far away. Conceptualization. This is receding. In the clutches of some indescribable, scattered emotion, A child descending.
You've fried both your brains enough for today, detective.
He inspects her. No response.
Let's get some air. This one's far gone.
She shakes her head silently as he turns to leave.
The Jamrock Shuffle. In a way, yes, you are treasure hunting. Most officers from Precinct 41 do what is called the Jamrock Shuffle, cracking open containers. Most of them are from Jamrock or Coal City, the poorest parts of Revachol, that also overlap with the network of royal catacombs called Le Royaume, just beneath the streets. As children, you would all go underground, hoping to find treasure, and come back with a rat's tail or a used needle. That playful curiosity must still be in you. Who knows, maybe one day the Orbe de Montagne, the Holy Scepter, and the Cocaine Skull will all be yours.
Alright. It gives me... Where is it? Jamrock Shuffle. Bonuses for the thought. Find better loot in locked containers. Great. Okay. Let me see. Is there anybody in here I need to talk to? No, I think I've talked to everybody. I'll pay for the room for tonight.
Can I help you?
Oh, wait. Hold on. I have to do something first. Oh, wait. I don't think I can. Oh, no. I could go to the pawn shop and buy stuff, I guess. Is this guy here? No, he's not here. I wanted to... let me see if I need to spend all of my money. How much do I need? I need to spend at least like $20-something. That's only 50 cents. Let's see. $12. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yes. That's 700. That's not gonna happen. Oh, I can buy books. That's right. I'll do that. Let me buy this shirt.
Welcome to...
If you don't have enough money to pay for the room, you have to be a hobo cop. Oh no, I think they're locked. No. I guess I can't spend all my money. Wait, maybe I can just do it already. Let me see. Open the lid again. Trash container. No, I can't. Yeah, I guess I can't do it. reload. Reload that then. I'll just go pay for my room. Scribble thoughts on the page. 3 girls on a disco. Oh yeah, I need to move the body. Into the refrigerator. So I'll do that. Oh, we do have this. The perception. Perception check 28%. Here, I'll see if I can get it. No. Give up.
Do you think we missed something?
Island Empire, you can't shake the feeling that there's more secrets concealed in the flesh before you. Yes. There's something we're not seeing.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast.
Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body?
Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building?
Why, yes, there was.
Now, detective, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant ice bear fridge, but I think we should still take a look at it first. Make sure it's big enough before we carry him over. Let's move. With every hour...
Yeah, I did this before, but Kim leaves the party for the day, so I had to do this at the very end here. I think this is the one. Plug in. I just plug both. I don't know which one's which. So, what do you think of this fridge, Kim? Look big enough for 2 corpses?
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
Esprit de corps. But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can.
Shall we go and get the body, then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Okay, let's do this. The body is heavier than you expected, and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement, then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
When I did this earlier, it said he was going to leave the party and do it himself, so I guess we do it now. I don't know. Really? You think it's a good work? I'm not sure I believe you.
Of course you don't. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in an ice bear fridge. This does not leave this room.
I think this is a glorious achievement, and people need to hear about it. We did our best with the means at our disposal. Yeah, I'm not proud either, but we did find a fridge. This isn't police work, Kim. It's art. We're artists. This is our vision. We did our best.
Did we, though?
Back in time for a pun. He throws an exasperated look at your feet and purses his lips.
At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
There we go. Let's see. Bag him. Take him away, Kim. Let the lieutenant take the body away without further examination. Or the perception check. Search the body one more time thoroughly. Let's see. 58% refrigerated the body. Tell me something, dead man. Let me close it for now and make a save, because it's probably going to fail it even though it's 58%. Wait, hold on. Tell me something, dead man. How do you like it in the fridge?
I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest hour. You're a genius. A regular Corporal Angelo.
Enough.
Come back later, Corporal. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
58%, -1 established probable cause, +2 refrigerated the body. No. And damaged my morale. Let's see. You touch the dead man's body. His skin is cold, light blue and silvery, in the light of the fridge. You still have no idea where to begin, or what to even do with him.
It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until then.
Let's see, do I have a... I don't have a point. I'm just gonna reload, because I'm lazy. There we go. Perception. Success. Your arm reaches out, and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex gloves. It's right under the palm of your hand. What is it? His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat swollen lips like a rubber spider. Your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent all around. Crawl up his nostrils. Put your fingers in his mouth. Squeeze his nose. Put your fingers in his mouth. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. Island Empire. You're on the right track. Play with it. This feels right. Open your eyes and look. No, touch something else. Play with it. The man's tongue moves freely in its cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile even, through the latex. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums, and in the back of the mouth. Perception. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open. Ow. Look in. Open your eyes and look. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands, and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rise from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate. Perception. You see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished, no larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius. The edges appear darkened. Say, fuck yeah. Touch it with your finger, gently.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Touch it. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Put your finger in. Your index finger fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth. Right into his brainstem. Brainstem. Feel around first. Push deeper. Brainstem. Yes, that's what that part is called. Feel around first. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. Conceptualization. This man will never sleep again. Never wake. Push deeper. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. There's a cavity, cut right between the hemispheres. Push deeper. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper. Push deeper. Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching towards the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. Wriggle in. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly, cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper, until you feel it. On the tip of your finger. Perception. Ice-cold serrated metal, its edge cut right through the latex and into your finger. I feel a solid object right under the skull. Inspect the skull first. Interfacing. Fish it out. Let's see. Oh, this is a red check. It cannot be retried, but it is 92%. Let's see. I feel a solid object.
Can you get to it?
Inspect the skull first. There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your fingers must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. Visual calculus. The object that is in there stopped just short of the skull. In its encephalus, knocking the tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
The lieutenant leans closer. All right. 97%. Watch it still fail anyway. Okay. You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just whisper, "I got it." Slowly pull your fingers out. Got it.
Good.
The fridge in the background buzzes with excitement. Slowly pull your fingers out. The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove as you pull out. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood, right up to the wrist, between your fingers. A small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
The lieutenant puts a small bag marked evidence under it. Drop it in. The bullet falls into the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eye and says,
A non-calibre. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Can I have it? Keep it, Lieutenant, as a gift.
No, you deserve it. We can log it later.
The lieutenant drops the bag in your hand. It feels light.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds like heaven. Sounds about right. Say nothing, just nod. Sounds like heaven.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Goddamn right. Agreed. Wasn't that what we thought the last time?
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
Logic. He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging is an attempt to conceal this fact. Treatment. The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Dead. Dabba doop doop. You think so? Agreed. Aren't we jumping to conclusions?
Dead.
You think so?
I did not just come up with this. I've had my doubts since you showed me the tracks, officer. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him? There is no satisfactory explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
Esprit de corps. We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost. Logic. There is, of course, the very real possibility. He was both shot and hanged. Maybe they just shot him while they hanged him. Who would do this? Why would anyone do this? I think I need to wash myself. Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
Hand-eye coordination. This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it. Maybe they shot him while they hanged him.
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it does not explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me.
Yep, and we need to figure out why they tried to cover it up. Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Well, what happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
You'll be gone. What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
After you beg the corpse, Lieutenant Kutsuragi will leave your party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly. Well, I did, because it's the end of the day. Oh, I can do that. Tell me something, dead man, again. How do you like... Oh, that's because I reloaded. Okay, it's not... It's not anything new.
Corporal. Amuse yourself.
All right.
Alright, yep. Let's bag him. He takes out a shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Bag the corpse and drag it in the back of the motor carriage. Alright. Oh yeah, I got a level, let's see. It's my perception. Well, my perception is at 6 already. Volition. Empathy. Oh, I'll get a... I like volition. It keeps you motivated.
Can I help you?
About my bill for tonight.
Got the 20 real?
Yeah, 20 real right here for the night. Come on, man, it's late. Do I really have to pay you again? The breath catches in his chest. The light in his eyes snuffs out all at once. After a moment, he speaks.
Do you have money tonight?
He says, no, I don't.
Too bad.
Stops. He mutters, he shakes his head, and stops as a strange new cruel light rekindles in his features. Drama. Here comes a layup, sire. Fall not for it.
But you know what? You're in luck, because you don't have to ever pay me again.
Wait, really? That's more like it, Gart. One free room, please. Are you serious? You're fucking with me, aren't you?
Not at all, officer. It's true. You don't have to pay me anything. You don't have to give me any money at all. If you want a room, yes, you'll need to pay me, but you don't have to just give me money. Giving me money for a room is your choice.
Wait, I still don't understand. Do I get a free room or not? But I need a fucking room. This isn't a choice. I have nowhere else to go. Okay, I don't want to talk about this right now.
You want a free place to sleep? Fine. You've already unlocked your new room. The trash container outside is ready and waiting.
Interfacing. The time is now. Hobo cop life. Here we come. Island Empire. A new dimension of reality will open. A portal is this bed of waste. Sleep there and awaken elsewhere. What does that mean? It's not clear. All that is known is sleep in the trash. There's no coming back. I'll embrace my fate, Gart. This is the night of the hobo cop.
Right, well, there you are. Now, was there anything else you wanted?
Goodbye. Open the lid. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dish rags, and organic waste. Time for bed. Hobo cop, crawl inside. The coop, oh god, no. No, let's see. The smell of rotten food rises up at you as you climb inside the trash container. No, not like this. Crawl out of the trash. Close the lid. This is where you belong. I got a trophy. Real Monsieur. There she blows. Disgraced cop sleeps in the trash. A deranged law official was found sleeping in a trash container behind the Whirling in Rags, a hostel cafeteria in Martinez. Gart, manager of the establishment, had this to say. He did ask for a free room, and I said no. I don't make the rules of the game. I just play my part. And that's it. That's the end of Disco Elysium. He sleeps in a dumpster now. That's one of the endings to Disco Elysium, I guess. The game overs. Oh, actually, I've seen this glitch before. I can't open my menu. I have to close the app. I lost the game so hard it broke. That's the best game over. Okay. Now I give him $20.
Can I help you?
About my bill.
20 real.
Yeah, 20 real right here.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Let me see. Can I do the... I don't know if I can do the window check now, or do I have to wait? I have to wait, okay. Oh yeah, I have to bathe. Let's see. Words fail to describe how rank it smells in here. They should have sent a poet. Let's see, can I look in the mirror? Oh yeah, there's this. What's this? Interfacing. Challenging. Use your chain cutters to fix the faucet. Stop the steam. Success. The faucet is quite terribly mangled, but you just might be able to twist its parts into place. You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. The steam stops. Told you that you needed these chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. The mirror begins to clear slowly within you. Without you having to wipe it. Let's see. Electrochemistry, impossible. Attempt to stop the expression from happening. And I have plus 2, know the origin, and plus 2, no more steam. But it's still only 8%, so that's probably not going to happen, but Let's see what happens. Still not happening. It won't come off that easy. That's the locked door. A bathtub. This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now. Perception smell. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you. Run yourself a bath. I want to live forever with the corpse smell. Memento mori and stuff. Leave. The bath slowly fills with water. The water beckons. Undress. Close your eyes and submerge. The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting, like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks like sad duckies. Island Empire. You feel nice and lonely, and so tired. Take the beer cans out. Leave the beer cans in. Take them out. Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub, but it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub. Linger in the tub a little. Imagine something. Get out. I healed my health. Wow. Imagine something. You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench. Conceptualization. Then, houses along a narrow street, a video rental, darkness on the planet's curvature. Get out. Task complete. The waterline recedes as you stand. You're cold now. Your clothes stick to you, to your still moist skin. The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting, but it's yours. You've earned it. Go to sleep. Yeah, the clothes are probably still, you know, covered in dead body rot. I mean, I did boil the boots in the the Whirling's cooking pot. But that's about it. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep. The limbic system. Here we are again, my broken bird. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay, always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. Why? It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort, suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety, but you cannot, because of the pain. Logic. That pain is on your right side is your enlarged liver. By the way, as for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. This is all too real. I know it too. These are my just desserts. I will endure this pain with dignity. Wait, wasn't this the express to fuck Alborough? I'm an artist, and liver damage is my art. I think I need medical attention. I'm an artist. Oh yeah, baby. Frame your suffering as a masterpiece. Only one problem. No one's watching. It's boring. Buddy, boring as death. You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that? Just get me out of here then. Back to the other place. I will. I'm looking at people all the time. I like them. Human beings will always betray you. Ancient reptilian brain. How many promises have you kept lately, Sir Harry? To the great, see-through world, the tenderness. Drama. Thou art honorable and just, sire. 'Tis the snakes who are vile, hissing in the grass. Volition. Come now, humans have earned your trust, and you theirs. Limbic system. What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness. Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts. You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you. Let it. Let it. But it never seems to let you go. Does it? Time to rise and wipe the shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll. Open your eyes. There. And that was day 2. Now day 3 is when the map really opens up, and you can actually go to the other part of the map. But that's going to have to be it for me for tonight, because I'm very tired. Yeah, this game is too real sometimes. Alright, well, thank you all very much for watching, and have a good night.